Allie Stuckey.
I'd like to thank Chairwoman Maloney and Ranking Member Jordan and the rest of the committee for the opportunity to appear before the committee today. My name is Allie Stuckey. I am an author, a podcast host, a commentator, a wife, and a mom. I've spent the last few years studying the pro-abortion movement, observing the growing radicalism of the abortion agenda, and speaking out about the injustice occurring on the state and federal levels against preborn children and their mothers. I am here today as a mom fighting for a future for her kids in which rights are not dependent on whether a person is wanted, but upon their humanity. I am here as a woman who believes that female empowerment, equality, and freedom are not defined by her ability to terminate the life of her child. I'm here as an American afraid for the fate of a country that no longer considers the right to life a prerequisite to liberty or the pursuit of happiness. I'm here as a human being, horrified by the violence, the oppression, and the marginalization of a defenseless people group based solely on where they reside, in the womb. It's surreal to be here, and not because I'm testifying before Congress, but because of the subject at hand. It is incomprehensible to me that we are having a debate over whether or not it is acceptable to kill a baby before they're born. And while we discuss Democrats' concerns about abortion restrictions today, I want to remind the committee of the true victims of radical legislation, and that is preborn babies. There was a time, perhaps, when we could claim ignorance as our justification for allowing and approving of abortion. Only a few decades ago, we knew relatively little about preborn babies in early stages of development. It seemed appropriate to some to deem abortion a privacy issue or an issue of bodily autonomy. And even then, the motto was safe, legal, and rare. Pro-abortion advocates have abandoned these three qualifications in favor of on-demand through all 9 months for any reason. Barbaric laws like those of New York, Illinois, and a bill in Virginia aim to codify what Roe and its companion cases allow, the virtually unrestricted access to abortion until the point of birth. As its defendant's position on abortion has radicalized, science and technology have advanced. We now know that a baby's heart begins to beat as early as 6 weeks. The child can feel pain as early as 20 weeks, only halfway through the pregnancy. Babies born as early as 21 weeks gestation have survived outside of the womb. By 24 weeks, still only in the second trimester, a fetus has a significant probability of surviving if born premature. Babies at this age have also received life-saving procedures to treat diseases like spina bifida. Any woman who has been pregnant or has seen her child on an ultrasound knows the undeniable humanity of their preborn babies. Even as someone who is pro-life, I was shocked to see my daughter in the womb at just 11 and a half weeks, kicking, punching, flipping around. 11 and a half weeks is still the first trimester. Embryology tells us that at the moment of conception onward, a baby is a living human being with a distinct DNA, and yet the abortion advocates have doubled down on their dehumanizing rhetoric and legislative efforts. Remarkably, many members of the so-called Party of Science insist upon referring to preborn children as no more than clumps of cells. And speaking of abortion, its defenders ignore the existence of the child entirely. Terms like reproductive freedom or bodily autonomy, women's empowerment are used as euphemisms to obscure the reality that the life inside the mom's body is a human, a baby, her baby. If abortion were truly a winning issue for women, if it were, as an article in New York Magazine recently argued, a moral good, this kind of deception wouldn't be necessary. But abortion advocates know that using accurate terminology to describe abortion is an effective PR, and therefore it doesn't make for a profitable business model. Late-term abortions are typically performed, of course, by emptying the uterus of amniotic fluid, then dismembering the baby with forceps. There are other cases of more grotesque methods utilized, like with Kermit Gosnell. Witnesses before Congress have testified to the neglect of babies who survive abortions, many of whom are reportedly left to die alone. Virginia Governor Ralph Northam declared earlier this year that a baby who survives an abortion would be delivered, kept comfortable, and resuscitated if that's what the mother and the family desired. While tragic, pro-lifers shouldn't be surprised by pro-choice radicalism. This is the end of the logic of the pro-abortion case. There is no logical argument for abortion that doesn't also apply to people who are born. America is included on a list of only 7 countries, including China and North Korea, to allow abortion after 20 weeks gestation. The same legislators who are pro-abortion were happy to vote yes on a bill criminalizing animal cruelty on the federal level. And while I'm thankful for this, I only wish the same basic compassion could be extended to the most vulnerable members of our own species. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Marcella Howell.
Acting Chairwoman Maloney, Ranking Member Jordan, and honorable members of the committee, thank you for the opportunity